Hi everyone and welcome back to 5 Minute Family Search. So here we are. I just signed into the Family Search Tree app and I'm back on this page, and I'd like to come up here to these three lines in the top box up here in the green section and click there. And we're going to go to Ancestors with Tasks. So when I do that, it's going to bring me to this page, and at the top bar in the green section you can see it says Ancestors with Tasks 85. So in this I section right here, let's click on that and let's see where they got those 85 names from. So it says Ancestors with Tasks contains people from the following sources: people you've recently viewed, your first 5 generations of ancestors including their children, or any part of your pedigree you've expanded. Now if you remember in the other video I showed you when you initially come on, it shows you those first 5 generations. You can go ahead at the top of where my great grandparents were and click on those circles with the arrows and it expanded it out. That is what it's talking about. So you can expand out your tree that way. These little blue circles are record hints. The record hint icons mean we found a possible record. Now you need to focus on that word possible. Just because it shows a record hint does not mean it definitely fits into your tree. It could be somebody that just has a name that's very close to it or something like that. So you really need to make sure that when you do those record hints that you pay close attention. But these records are either a birth, marriage, or death certificate, a census report, and it has, they think, your ancestor listed in it. So because Family Search provides a public tree for all, attaching records helps prove ancestors' life events. And what they mean by that is it's a lot harder for people come into your tree and to dispute and say, no, I know that this his death date is this, but if you disagree and you have a record there in front of you showing the exact date, it helps keep all of the information accurate. The green circle means ready for the temple, so this ancestor's temple work may be ready to be performed, and occasionally you will need to get permission if your ancestor was born within the last 110 years, or you need to resolve a possible duplicate. And I will attach into this playlist videos from the desktop version that I did, the desktop playlist, to show you how to do those duplicates. They are not scary. I know people get a little put off with those because they're afraid they're going to make a mistake, but they're very easy to do, and I'll show you again how to do that. These orange circles means the ancestor needs more information. So before their temple work can be done, their name needs to be checked, a date needs to be checked or a place. Just something's going on that's making the computer not process the person through as ready. And then on that list, if you want to remove somebody, you can just swipe to the left and it'll take their name off your list. So we're going to come back out here and I'm going to come into this magnifying glass. And when I click on that, let's say we were looking through and I was looking for somebody named Mary. I wanted to go through her record and look for some information and I can't remember. It just took us from the 80 some names down to 6. So now I can look through and find the Mary that I was trying to find in that whole list of 80 some names. And then to remove her, I can click this X here. If I click on this arrow up here, it's going to take me back to the previous screen and outside of these possible matches. So let's just click here on the X and we're going to click one more time because we don't want to do any more searching, and it's going to bring us back up to these lines. So when I click on these lines, it's going to filter either everything, which is what we're doing now, or it's just going to look for people who have temple work that need to be done or the blue hint circles. So let's go into temple. When I do that, it brings me up to these names, and we're going to come in here into Mary Ellen Morton. So it's saying it thinks her temple work is ready to be done. So we'll just click on her. It is searching for duplicates to make sure that she doesn't have a duplicate and that that needs to be resolved before it can send her to the temple. So here we are right here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click continue, and I would go through and make sure that this is accurate, that everything is in place, but I know that it is because this is a family tree that I actually work in a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and when I do, it just tells me make sure that you have followed the rules and everything and that you're not doing something you're not supposed to. So we've read this in a disclaimer in a previous video. We'll go ahead and click there and it'll say add to reserved family names. So now it is adding them into my temple file, and I can take her now to the temple, or I can share her with the temple or with another family member, and we can go ahead and process through her information. So I'm going to come back out, and that was the ancestors with tasks. And again, as I said, you can go into the other videos and I will show you how to resolve those record hints. Those they get a little more detailed. I'll just click on one so you can see what it looks like. But it'll show you the actual record and it'll open it up for you to go through to start resolving the hints. Again, it is a little bit easier to do it in the desktop version. We'll just do this one really quickly. If it wasn't a match, I would come here and say not a match, but we're going to go ahead and review it. So I can see it's Joan Wildner. This is from the United States Census 1940. It has her name, that she's female, she was 13, and it has all this information listed here. And she was in the household of Claire Wildner and Bertha Wildner, and then it has her sisters. So we're going to click review, and when we do, it's going to bring us up to this screen here. This is the record image. This is family tree on the right hand side. This is going to disappear at the end, and the family tree over here, this is what's going to stay. So we're going to come down here and we're going to look, and it actually has already been attached. And so that just might be a little fluke with the computer. So it's actually not something that we're going to have to worry about. If we did need to, these would be little paper clips, and we would just click on these and we could take a look and see. But they're already attached, and so it's telling us that we can detach them, but we don't want to do that. We want to leave it attached. So we can just come out, we're going to click on that X, and it will show us that we have already finished that. So again, please check back in the playlist with the desktop. I go into this in a couple videos and spend a lot of time showing you how to do that to become comfortable with that. But that is the section in your Family Search Tree app that, that is about ancestors with tasks.